Okay, I found this little hawk sketch and I thought this was a beautiful one, and it actually was pretty quick to draw. So I start with the head and you want to make sure the angle is tilted slightly. So I'm just kind of briefly getting that rectangle and then the neck, and then I want to make sure that the body comes off the page, and this is quite large, and so what I'm really trying to gather is the size of the head, the size of the neck compared to the size of the body. And then I just put that beak in slightly. I'll fix the shape right now, but what I'm looking at is that negative space between the bottom of the beak that curves under into that neck area. And so once I can get that correct, I can really gauge how thick the neck is and then get the shape of that head a little bit better. And then I'm looking at how the beak runs into the mouth and up into the face, and that negative space is what I'm talking about right there. And then, you can use that angle to where, I don't really know how to describe that, but just the mouth part, it goes towards the middle of the head. You want to make sure the angle is slight, but not too steep and not straight across. And then same with that line where the eye's like furrowed and focused right there. You want that to be about where the mouth ends as well, and then the eyeball. Get that nice and round, and that pupil's really zoned in like an oval shape. And I'm just going to go in and double check my angles on the back of the neck, top of the head. And then once I'm happy with that, I can go in and start adding some more detail. I brought a darker lead here. I have a 0.9. I drew it with a 0.7, so I'm going to go in and darken up these lines and add some values, but mainly just the textures to give the idea that that we've got some feathers. Now in the eye itself, I spend quite a bit of time darkening up around the iris and drawing the lines and adding some shadow, but keeping that highlight. And now I'm going to go and thicken up my lines around the beak. The beak and the eye, you want a lot of attention because that's your main focal point area. And then there's not much to the feathers. It just gives enough of that sketchy feather look that it gives the texture, and that's why it's such a fun sketch. So like I said, lots of details up top and the rough feather, not a ton, just the idea that there's feathers, and some of the lines are a little bit thinner and some of them are thicker, and that gives the idea that we've got some darker values with the heavier lines, lighter values with the lighter sketched lines, and I'm really thickening up below the beak. And then again, just the idea that there's some feathers here and there. And that's about it. And you just want to be careful not to smudge your hand with that darker graphite, just because it can smudge. It's such a loose pressed graphite. So, okay, and then that's it.